So, I got an email last night, and the email, it was just a scam email. It was like, oh, you want a new HP laptop, and I knew it was a scam email. But for some reason, I clicked like the drop down box to see who the email came from, and to my surprise, it was from a Damon at whatever the IP address was. But anybody who knows me know that I have a heavy interest in like metaphysics, um, philosophy, mythology. So this was very interesting to me to see that the word daemon. For those who don't know, the word um, daemon is where we get our word that we have for demon, right? So daemon is demon. I found that very interesting. I've always had this notion that the internet was a spiritual place, right? So I went to do some research, and this is what I found. In computing, a daemon is a program that runs as a background process rather than being under the direct control of an interactive user. Customary convention is to name a daemon process with the letter D as a suffix to indicate that it's a daemon. For example, SYSLOGD is a daemon that implements system logging facility. An SSHD is a daemon that serves incoming connections. So when we see, like when we're putting in the web address and we see HTTPSD, right? So the D is for daemon, right? So let's look at terminology. So it says, in context of computing, the word is generally pronounced as either demon or daemon. The term was coined by the programmers at MIT's Project Mac. According to Fernando Corbato, who worked on Project Mac around 1963, his team was the first to use the term daemon. Daemon, inspired by Maxwell's demon, an imaginary agent in physics and thermodynamics that helped to sort molecules, stating, we fancifully begin to use the word daemon to describe background processes that work tirelessly to perform system chores. It goes on to say, in the general sense, daemon is an older form of the word demon from the Greek. In the Unix system administration handbook, Evie Nemeth states the following about daemons. Many people equate the word daemon with the word demon, implying some kind of satanic connection between Unix and the underworld. This is an egregious misunderstanding. Daemon is actually a much older form of demon. Daemons have no particular bias towards good or evil, but rather serve to help define a person's character or personality. The ancient Greeks' concept of a personal daemon was similar to the modern concept of a guardian angel. Eudaimonia is the state of being helped or protected by a kindly spirit. As a rule, Unix systems seem to be infested with both daemons and demons. Now, I found this very interesting because, like I said, I believe that the internet is a spiritual place. When we so, this is why I'm saying the internet is a spiritual place. When we actually break down the etymology of these words, which we're going to do here in a minute, but it says this is an egregious misunderstanding, and it's possible that it is, but we have to understand that words have frequencies. So when we're using the word demon, we have to understand that the frequency, even if we weren't trying to imply that, the frequency of the word is still in play, right? Um, so it seems to be infested with both daemons and demons. Now, just like it says, they have no bias towards good or evil. So you will find good things on the internet and you will find bad things on the internet. It's like angels and demons, right? Have you all seen the Hellraiser movie where Pinhead came out and she was asking, what are they? And he said, we're angels to some, demons to other. It's that same thing, right? So when we go up, they also have the Chrome, right? And when we click on that, we see it's like a timekeeping agent, right? So cron is the shell command for scheduling a job, i.e. command or shell script to run periodically at a fixed time, date, or interval. So it has to do with time, and it's cron, C-R-O-N. So we can see that they also got that from Chronos, right? So Chronos in Greek mythology is often associated with time and the cyclical nature of generation. So we can see that they shorten that down to Cron, C-R-O-N. We also have the Crone from the triple goddess, C-R-O-N-E, which also represents kind of like time. So when we look at the word net, the etymology of the word net, we see that it says open textile fabric tied or woven with the mesh for catching fish, birds, or wild animals alive. A network, a spider web, also figuratively, moral or mental snare or trap. So a moral or mental snare or trap. When you're on the internet, people get sucked in, constantly scrolling. The internet is supposed to be a tool, it's supposed to be used for business, to make money, to teach, to make connections, but some people are using it in all the wrong ways, right? So it can be used for good or evil, just like we see on with Apple, and they have the apple as their symbol. And basically, we know the story of Adam and Eve when they ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Again, we see that good and evil, both sides. We can't have one without the other. So the internet is the same way. It is good and it is bad. So net can also mean clean, pure, unadulterated, to shine, look bright, or glitter, right? But we got to understand what the scripture saying. It's 1:44 on the clock. For Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light. Okay, so everything that glitter is not gold. So internet, it tripped me out because I had listened to Erykah Badu's song "The Healer." Really creeped me out when I first listened to it, just like the tone. I really like the song, but it's one part in the song where she says, "We're living through the internet," right? And it all makes sense. Now, there's also a Netflix show called Evil where they talk about the demons using the internet and the internet or something similar. I haven't watched the show in a while, but I remember when I first watched it, it clicked in my head just like that. And then you also have a song by Katy Perry called Not the End of the World, where she is abducted by aliens and because Earth is about to self-destruct. And how she ends up saving the Earth at the end of this video is by unplugging the internet. All of these things, like, they stick with me. So the internet is a spiritual realm. So when we talk about the word realm can mean a domain. And when you get on the internet, you are coming into people's domains. So I have a website for my business, and I had to purchase a domain for that website. So when you come into my website, you are in my domain. Be mindful that you are in different multidimensional domains when you are on the internet. Do not get sucked in. The internet is a real spiritual realm used and formed to, what did it say? Influence your character, right? What did it say? To define a person's character or personality. Till we meet again.